In this video we will talk about if you really need to upgrade your iPhone every year, so let's begin. As you may know, I'm a huge Apple fan. I buy a lot of different Apple products, iPhones, iPads, AirPods and so on. And in the beginning I always upgraded to the latest iPhone every year. But since the iPhone XS Max, I have stopped doing that. The iPhone XS Max I had for 3 years, and now it's my table cam that records this video with recording my iPhone here. The iPhone XS Max is now my camera, and it's still perfectly functional phone. So you can have phones really long nowadays. And after having the iPhone XS Max for 3 years, I bought this, the iPhone 13 Pro Max. And I did that because I thought maybe the battery life would be bad on iPhone XS Max after 3 years. So I decided to upgrade to the iPhone the iPhone 13 Pro Max that you see here. And usually I always use the iPhone without a case, but this time I bought a case because I love reading books and holding it in a leather case from Apple, the Apple original leather case. It feels so nice to hold in your hand while reading books. And I read a lot of books on my iPhone and iPad together with my Kindle and Kobo devices. So that was the only reason I bought this case actually. And if we remove this case, like so, this is a really beautiful phone, and that is also one reason why I never use cases normally, because I would love to see and feel the build quality of an iPhone. They are so good and very high build quality to hold in your hand and so on. But on this iPhone 13 Pro Max, I have got some, let's see that, it's dirty now. I have got some small micro scratches in the display. It could be hard to see maybe. I'm not sure if you see any micro scratches. You see maybe a few, and that has never happened before on any iPhone I've had. I don't know why it would be micro scratches on the iPhone 13 Pro Max. I have never got any micro scratches on other iPhones, so I think that's a bit strange, because the iPhone 13 Pro Max should be even better protected glass over the display and so on, better than older phones and so on. But anyways, I got a lot of micro scratches on this iPhone 13 Pro Max. I think that's strange. Another thing that I don't like with cases actually is that sometimes they hurt the phone more than protect it. And what I mean with that is that at the sides of the phone could get scratches and marks and so on from the case itself. This is a stainless steel version of the iPhone, so it's very protected in that way, so you don't get easily scratches or marks on the stainless steel. But usually I think cases get sometimes makes scratches and marks on the phone itself, and I don't like that. So usually I use all my phones naked without a case, but this time I bought it because I love to hold in a leather case while reading. This all ends up in that this phone is more protected than normally, because I also use a case on it. And when Apple releases iPhone 15 this year, this phone will be 2 years old. But I think this phone is still awesome to use. The performance is excellent, and It's so fast, and I can use it for video editing in LumaFusion. It can render 4K Ultra HD really fast, and you can record in ProRes and directly video edit on the phone itself in LumaFusion. So to me, the performance is still awesome on this phone. So I can probably use this phone at least 1 year still, maybe even 2 if I wanted. And if you go into the battery settings to see the battery life on this, here we have the battery health and charging. Here we see that the maximum capacity is 89%, and that is maybe not the best, because this phone is only 1.5 years old. It will be 2 years when iPhone 15 releases. But I had thought that this should be over 90%. But Apple has recently announced that they have adjusted these percent of this measure of the battery capacity to be more actual usage. Before, that number would not be the truth of what the battery could have for capacity. So Apple has changed that recently. So maybe that is why it's a bit worse on this phone after just 1.5 years. I don't know. But usually you should, if it goes down to 80% and below that, the battery capacity is too bad, so the CPU can start to throttle and go down in performance and so on. So usually below 80% is not good. So that is a question. Will this phone last 1 year when it comes to the battery capacity then? I don't know. But if it does, you can easily use this phone for at least 1 year without problem more. So 3 years on this phone is quite normal nowadays. So I still don't need actually to upgrade it. Maybe this phone can even last 4 years, I don't know. And that is the question really. Do we really need to upgrade your phone every year? I'm not so sure about that, because as I said, you can still use this phone for more than a year still and without problems. So I think that users nowadays doesn't need to upgrade as often. But do you upgrade your phone every year? Please say that in the comments, if so. And do you think that you need to upgrade every year? That will also be cool to see if you can comment on that. But me personally don't think you need to upgrade every year. You can at least have it 2 years, as I have with this, when the iPhone 15 will be released. And I will probably have this at least 1 year still, so it will be 3 years old. So I will probably not buy the iPhone 15 Pro Max or iPhone 15 Pro Ultra or whatever it will be called. But that also depends on what Apple will present for the iPhone 15 Pro Max. If it will have really cool features that I really would love to have, then maybe eventually I will upgrade to the iPhone 15 Pro Max. So for example, if Apple will present some kind of new display that can help with headaches and tired eyes when reading books on the iPhone, if they have a new kind of display, so that will help with the PWM, pulse width modulation dimming, that makes the display pulsate, so you get headaches and tired eyes. So if Apple could provide a new display for that, but I don't think they will, but if they could, that would be quite cool. So for example, if the 120 Hz display that the iPhone 13 Pro Max and iPhone 14 Pro Max has. If that could go down to 1 Hertz, so the display will not pulsate as much, so that would help for reading books, for example. That could be one feature that makes me upgrade to the iPhone 15 Pro Max this year. So there could also be other features that I would like to have if Apple presents them this fall, but we will see. If it will look exactly the same as iPhone 14 Pro Max and doesn't have any more but better camera and so on, then I will probably still use my iPhone 13 Pro Max at least 1 year still. Okay, bye.